The word has come from the Greek word Hieroglyphs. Now, in Hieroglyphs, hiero means sacred and glyphicus means engraved letters. So, on the whole, hieroglyph means sacred engraved letters. The period of Egyptian hieroglyphs. Actually, the language it's a sort of language, but it was somewhat confused over the years. But after close analysis, some of the experts showed that it go back at least 3100 BC. So condition of the study in Bangladesh. Actually, in Bangladesh, frankly speaking, the teaching or learning of hieroglyph are not encouraged in this country at all, because conventionally it is considered as a dead language. Moreover, in the various bookshelves, popular bookshelves and the libraries, there is no book on learning hieroglyphs. But whereas in the if you see in the advanced educational institutions in the world, the hieroglyphs are best studied there. So when compared to the advanced countries, we are completely backward, especially in this language. So lack of Bangladeshi experts. In Bangladesh, there are actually no expert linguists and skilled Egyptologists who are able to decipher the hieroglyphic text. For this reason, taking interviews like the world famous Egyptologists like Osama Al-Sabi, Jack Skinner, Jim Lloyd, El-Jari, Diverdi, were not possible for me because it is not cost effective financially. For this reason, after that, the collecting and arranging information. That being the situation, I have collected my own printed books and foreign printed books and electronic books, which are written by the famous Egyptologists. And after that, I collected the various interviews of especially Osama Al-Sabi taken by Mr. Scott and Mrs. Hesby. After that, I have gathered the various data from the various websites and the various blogs of the various renowned and skilled Egyptologists. And depending on these resources, I arranged my whole thesis paper in accordance with the universal thoughts of the moral linguistics. Aim and purpose. Actually, the aim and purpose of a thesis paper are to present and organize the whole thesis paper in conformity with the linguistic ideas, so that Bangladeshi learners get interested in learning the Egyptian hieroglyphs, and they can, in order to extend their linguistic knowledge, and they can get introduced with the language of our indirect forefathers who belong to the ancient Egyptian civilization. By and large, I want to make this language famous in this country. This is chapter 2, research method. This paper, I established my own theories on the basis of sociolinguistic and psycholinguistic points of view. This is chapter 3, origin of deciphering Egyptian hieroglyphs and contribution of the Muslim scholars. We know that Caliph Umar, in around 641 AD, the Caliph Umar conquered Egypt. After this victory of the Muslims, the lots of the Muslim scholars start entering into Egypt. Around 10th century BC, the Muslim scholar Ibn Washia, he comes from Iraq and visits Egypt. That time he works in hieroglyph, and he's the first Muslim scholar and the first scholar who actually classifies all the hieroglyphic signs as the phonogram and ideogram. After that, around the 14th century AD, another Iraqi scholar named Abul Qasim, he also visits and travels the whole Egypt and he writes a book on the hieroglyph named Kitab al-Aqlim al-Sawa, which means the book of accurate points. In this book, he correctly copied the various hieroglyphic signs from the various monuments and papyrus scrolls. And he deals with the phonetic values as well, and he arranged all the hieroglyphic signs in the table. This is the work of the Ibn Washia. This is the work of Abul Qasim, which is arranged in the table. Has discovered this stone in the village called Rosetta. That's why its name is Rosetta stone. Sometimes called the Rashid. That's why it is Rosetta stone. And the Rosetta stone dating back the 196 BC during the reigning period of Ptolemy V. And the height of the Rosetta stone is 3 feet and 9 inches, and the weight is 2 feet and almost 5 inches. And actually, rosetta stone is a very important tool to decipher all kinds of hieroglyphic texts. In 1802, Thomas Young, he was actually physician, British physician. He first works on the rosetta stone and tried to decipher the whole rosetta stone, but unluckily he failed to translate whole the rosetta stone. But in 1814, the another is a English nobleman, the William John Banks. He discovered a Philiops in the Philly. The Philiops is like a pillar. It's a bilingual text. There was a hieroglyph and the Greek were engraved. That time, by means of the Greek language, he deciphered the hieroglyphic text and he found out the name of Cleopatra. We know the Cleopatra. Actually, the name of the Cleopatra was the key to find out the name of Ptolemy in the rosetta stone. In 1922, the French scholar, actually he is an Egyptologist as well, the Francois Champollion, Jean-Francois Champollion. It's a French name. Who worked on he actually completely deciphered the whole rosetta stone and find out the name of the Ptolemy. And actually, he was the successful decipherer who was able to decipher whole the rosetta stone by means of the Greek language. You know, the rosetta stone is the trilingual text. There are the Greek, Arabic, and Demotic were engraved. This is the rosetta stone. This part is hieroglyph. It's Demotic and it's Greek. This is the name of Cleopatra. How Champollion finds out the name of Ptolemy in the rosetta stone by means of this technique. Use this technique. This way he finds out the name of Ptolemy in the rosetta stone. Chapter 4: Language evolution through Egyptian hieroglyphs. We know that no language is stable. All language in the world, including Egyptian hieroglyphs, go through the processes of language evolution. As a result, every Egyptian hieroglyphs has the evolutionary links. So in this case, I personally divide these evolutionary links into two: internal evolutionary links and external evolutionary links. Internal evolutionary links deal with the language development in the bottom of through Egyptian hieroglyphs in the bottom of Egypt. And external evolutionary links deal with the language development through Egyptian hieroglyphs outside of Egypt. This is the internal evolutionary links. This is the hieroglyph, hieratic, and demotic. As I said, hieroglyph comes into light at least 3100 BC. It is engraved. These languages are written in the various paper scroll and the wall of the temples, tombs, and so on. And these languages are used for the preserving the historical records and sometimes religious songs, hymns, and so on. After that, this is the hieratic. It's a sort of deformity of the hieroglyphs, and it appears at least 1600 BC. It is also used for various religious reasons and various stoneworks like the hieroglyph. And it's also used the various hymns, magical, or sometimes the magical spells, and it's also used for the various religious subjects. After that, it is the simplification. This is the simplification of hieratic. It's called demotic. It appears 700 BC. It's also used. It is actually written in the stonework, various stonework. It's all easily used for the various preservation of the vertical historical preservation. But except this language is not used for the religious subject. It's the external evolutionary links. It's the hieroglyph, it's a Sinaitic, Phoenician, Greek, and Roman. In the 12th dynasty of Egypt, it is from the 1991 BC to 1802 BC. During the period, the Egyptian kings sent lots of soldiers in order to conquer the mines of the Sinai. And this is Sinai, that's why this is Sinaitic language, and Mount of Sinai, and finally they conquered the Sinai mines. But the people of the natives of the Sinai area, their languages are sort of Semitic language, but they don't have the written script. For this reason, they adopt their language from the Egyptians. As a result, you find that this is the ox, head of the ox. Its pronunciation is I, meaning is ox. But in case of Sinaitic, its pronunciation is Aleph. and but meaning is powerful. You see, they just apply this sign in their language, in their spoken language. They don't have the written script. That's why they just adopt from the Egyptians. After that, the Phoenicians are the people of the Canaan. They are the famous merchants and the sailors. And they invented this language. The Phoenician language is known as the Old Hebrew. Old Hebrew or Paleo-Hebrew or Hebrew of the Old Testament in the Bible. And they actually taken the ideas and sounds from the Semitic language. You see, this is, and they taken, and this is called Aleph. They adopted this language. After that, in the 11th century BC, the Greek borrowed this language from the Phoenician, Old Hebrew. This is because it becomes alpha, bilateral signs. But for example, you see there is the name of Ramses. If you write a Ramses, Ra, A, Ma, Sa, it's actually wrongly written. It's not the correct way to write the name of the Ramses. We should apply the bilateral signs. Here you see Ra, Ms, Sa, Ramses. This is the correct way to write the name of the Ramses by using the bilateral signs. This is the trilateral signs. The Ankh, Nadar, Copper, Khatak, all these are the samples of the trilateral signs. For example, this is the name of the Senefer. This is the father, probable father of the King Khufu. We know that the great pyramid of Khufu's father is Sa. Nefer, this is Nefer. Ra, Senefer is the father of the King Khufu. Chapter 6, grammar in Egyptian hieroglyphs. The personal speech, we know that the different types of words in the sentence are called the personal speech. Here you see the noun. As I said, the Senefer is the proper noun. Common noun is Zat, because it determines sign of sign of woman, Zat, woman. Material noun is Nabat, and it's a determined sign for breastplate. Collective noun is the Masasa, is the army. Abstract noun is the Sa, Bata, Sabat, Abba. That means the determined sign is for laughter. Gender. Under noun we find the gender. Here you see it's a za. This man determined sign, man. It is za, ta, it's a determined sign for woman. It is sa, na, determined sign for brother, and sa, na, ta is sister. It's a determined sign, it's a hamad for female servant. It is for servant, it's female servant. But besides using the determined signs in order to make feminine, Egyptian hieroglyphs add the ta sound. Here is za, zat, san, sanat, hamad. They just add the ta sound besides using the determined sign in order to make the feminine adjective. In hieroglyph, nefer means the beautiful, nice, attractive, and so on. Here you see, this is nefer. Nefer is the determined sign for woman. Nefer means beautiful and attractive, nice, whatever you can say. Nefer is a woman, so beautiful woman. Nefer is a cow, so that attractive cow or beautiful cow you can say as you wish. It's nefer, it is a crown, so nice crown. Verb. Here you see ideas. So on the whole, it probably represents entering into the cave. Clipping. It's also a morphological process. Clipping is the deletion of some parts of the longer words in order to represent shorter words with same meaning. Sometimes we say dog instead of doctor. We say demonstration. Sorry, demo instead of demonstration. Sometimes we say ad instead of advertisement. It's the same thing. There's a makara, that means true voice, but in clipping form is ma. Both mean true voice. It's certain. It's short form is the king of our Egypt. Ka is a determined sign of bull. It's a nakata, it's a fighting. That means on the whole it means the victorious bull. Fighting there is the fighter bull, because of this sign indicates the fighter bull. On the whole, or it can be victorious bull. Its short form is up. It's a clipping form. We know that the name of the Cleopatra, the queen, but her actual name is Cleopatra's son. And sometimes some people may ask how name can be clipping. As in, my name is Ridwan. Some of my friends call me as hey Ridwan. It's a sort of clipping. Though it's not a pure morphological process, but in a roundabout way, we can use as a clipping. Here you see, there is a ka, la, e, o, cleo, pa, a, da, ra, a, Cleopatra, ta, sa, Cleopatra, sa. After addition, ta, sa, it becomes Cleopatra. Compounding. Compounding is another morphological process in which the two and more base words are combined. In this case, like we said, classroom, newspaper, Bluetooth, and so on. It can be divided into two: idiocentric and exocentric. Idiocentric is the semantically transparent. Sometimes we say the classroom. Classroom is a sort of blue. Newspaper, a sort of paper. Doorbell. So the doorbell is a sort of bill. It's idiocentric. Exocentric is semantically vague, like the greenhorn. Greenhorn doesn't mean the horn which is green. It's greenhorn means immature or inefficient. Sometimes we say the Bluetooth. Bluetooth doesn't mean the tooth which is blue, which is also functioning on mobile. Sometimes we say the lady killer. Lady killer doesn't mean the killer of the lady. Very attractive person. The same thing. Here is the understanding. This is the target word. I to divide into phonogram and ideogram. In case of hieroglyphs, the components are found with by the phonogram and ideogram. These are the phonogram. The yacht is the old man. That indicates old age. It's a idiocentric because it is semantically clear. It's a target. These are the target words. It's a passage. The sun means shine. We can understand easily. It's the hop. It's the water. So river. It can be the Nile River. So these are the idiocentric. Here is exocentric. Here you see, all these are the men, but the meaning is not same. It's to desire to love to sing. Actually, in order to indicate their exact meaning, they are to dependent on their phonograms, the sound or sounds. Here you see, mara, the man to desire. Sabat abba, the man means to love. Ha has and design man or to sing. All these are the examples of the exocentric. Syntax. Syntax, we know that the structure of sentences. If I say I play football, in this case I is subject, play verb, football is object. But in case of Egyptian hieroglyphs, actually they follow the VSO, like verbs, subject, and object. Here you see Saddam, there's Isam and Al. When this is the here and Shoma, and sorry, here to here, Saddam, Ali, Al. That means I hear what. In this case, the Saddam, this is the verb. E is the subject. O is the was. Is a verb. Sorry, it's a verb. Subject is object. Here, I was is object. Our later after that, yo ra is the sign of the sun. Ma pot. In this case, eo it can be compared to the auxiliary verb is. After that, ra is the determinate sign of the sun. Ra, sun. And it can be compared to ma sun. It can be compared with the preposition in. Pata, pata means the sky, and this is the determinate sign of the sky. So it's a verb, auxiliary verb. You, it's a ra, sun. It's a preposition, it's a part, sky. So the sun is in the sky. Chapter 9, Reading and Translation of Egyptian Hieroglyphs. Techniques of reading. In Egyptian hieroglyphs should be read according to the face direction of the human being, snake, bird, and so on. Here is number 8. This bird faces this side, on the left side. So we should read from left, this way. B. This bird faces the right side. So we have to read from right. C. We have to read this way, this way. D. We have to read this way. And techniques of translation. We know that conventionally the techniques of translation can be divided into two. Word for word translation and sense for sense translation. Word for word translation to translate each and every lexical item. But sense for sense translation actually to translate the sense of the text. In this case, in this text, both can be applied. Here you see It's actually rest. Rest means south. It's a beach. Means north. This is the name Khufu. Khufu. King Khufu. So we can guess the Khufu, who is the king of southern northern or upper Egypt or lower Egypt. But problem is that this picture is not the Khufu. It's a picture of creator god whose name is Pota. The problem is the picture. So how we can translate or we understand what's the meaning of this text? It's okay, the Khufu is the king of the north and south. But what the picture does mean? In this case, I have taken here from the Rosetta Stone. The part of the Rosetta Stone. Here you see, this is the Kurdish. Ptolemy. Zata. Ptolemy. That means Ptolemy, the ever-living beloved of Potter. But there's a name, Potter. But there's no picture of Potter. There's a name. So in this case, I can take the sense. So Potter means beloved of Potter. So we can guess the Khufu, who is the king of the north and south, and who is also beloved of Potter. Chapter 10, Psycholinguistics in Egyptian Hieroglyphs. This is the psycholinguistic conditions of decipherer's brain. Decipherer who actually was able to decipher or find out the meaning of the hieroglyphic text. And the decipherer is also a human being like us. So he has also brain like us. So every human being has the two sides of the brain, and it has two sides. It's a left brain and right brain. Actually, right brain are used is used for the identification of each and every hieroglyphic sign. But left brain is used for the production of the speech. Here is the blueprint hypothesis of the William Levitt. Actually, William Levitt is a Dutch psycholinguist. In his blueprint hypothesis, he establishes his three components. It comes three components: the lemma, lexeme, and lex. First of all, it's a lemma. Lemma is a thought of something which can provide semantic and syntactic ideas in general. But in case of hieroglyph, the decipherers the right brain chooses the recognizes all each and every symbols on the picture. But left brain will actually organize all the hieroglyphs into words and all the words into sentences. For example, here you see, whenever this is expression, it's actually dua, sat, ra, kaf, woven, raf. In this case, the decipherer actually identify. This is like, as I said, the ancient Egyptians used to worship the sun, moon, stars. Here you see, it's a dua. So worship. It's a paper scroll. It's a book. This is a book. It's actually Ra. It's a determined sign of Samba, Ra, God Ra. It can be when. It's covered. It's a when. Woven Ra, rising of the sun. On the whole, the meaning of this text is according to the book, when the sun rises, worship the sun god Ra. In case of lexeme, from lexeme, the decipherer goes through the process of lexeme. In this case, the precocity of the decipherer's brain actually deals with the exact pronunciation of the hieroglyphic text. Here you see there is a dua. Pronunciation is not the pictures, identification of the pictures, it's just sound production through the precocity. Dua is a salt, the ra, kafat, woven rough. After that, lex is the final stage and the articulated production of the decipherer. In this case, the motor cortex of the decipherer's brain controls the decipherer's articulated muscles like the face, jaw, larynx, and so on. In this case, you can see my facial expressions. My cheek is moving, and you can see my facial expression whenever I pronounce these sounds. Like dua, it's a dua, sat, ra, kafat, woven, ra. This is also linguistics in Egyptian hieroglyphs. Title of the Egyptian kings. Conventionally, we know that the titles of the Egyptian Egyptian kings are pharaoh, which is actually not. The titles of the Egyptian kings change time to time. Here you see there's the sultan, the king, majesty, iti, sovereign, nub, lord. The pra is the pharaoh. You see the pharaoh. Pharaoh, and that is the pharaoh means the great house. Sometimes some of the people may find a sort of contradiction in the Holy Quran. In the Holy Quran. In the Holy Quran, sometimes we like.
How much longer will you take? 10 minutes. Shall 10 minutes. He wants 10 minutes.
Make it 5 minutes.
Can you make it 5 minutes? Because I think he has a meeting at 4. To just wrap up.
Okay.
Yes, you can skip.
Okay. This is the social linguistic evidences of the Israel. When the Israel, the descendants of the Yaqub, at the start of particular course for learning hierarchy. In such a way, our linguistic studies will be rich, and we can compete with the advanced education institution in the world. These are some of my references. As I said, they are phonetic symbols, conventional. These are not IP symbols. Traditionally, this statue is considered as the Ramses II. But an honorable Egyptologist, Dr. Osama Saldi, claims that it's not the Moses, it's not the Ramses II, it's the biblical prophet Moses. And in this case, he finds out that this is the correct way to write the Ramses. This has been taken from the book, the Shackleton's book. The book named the hieroglyphic system of ancient Egyptians. This is like Ra, Ma, Zaza, Ramses. Here you see, this is the Ra sound. Here is the Ra is missing. Ra sound is missing. So it's a Ma, Zaza, Mazas. This is the two feather. It's the Mazas, and this is the two feather. That is the integrity. We know that integrity is the universal attitude of the all religious prophet. So on the whole, it is Moses, not Ramses II. Traditionally, this picture has been taken from the god Ra and his worst enemy, Apep. But Osama Saldi claims that it's actually Prophet Moses as this first serpent after throwing down his rod or stick. But though he doesn't clarify that, in this case, I personally try to explain that on my way. Here you see, this is the Ra, determined sign for sun. It's a falcon-headed god. It's a Ra. The right way to write the name of the god, Ra. But here you see, this is the determined sign is falcon-headed. This man is a man. It's not the falcon-headed god, a falcon-headed person. Here is the Apep. It's a determined sign of the snake. It's a snake. So both this snake matches with this snake, but this man doesn't match with this Ra. So after that, in the Holy Quran, there is a verse. And what is the inner right? And O Musa, Musa said, "It is my Lord. I lean on it and guide my sheep with it, and I have other used in it." He Allah said, "Throw it down, Musa." So he threw it down, and it became a moving serpent. In this, there is this expression, I lean on it and I guide my sheep with it. That means he was shepherding on the field. Musa is the shepherd. But in the hieroglyphic signs, these are the right way to write. These are the signs for the shepherd in the hieroglyphic text. But you see their dress up. Their dresses similar to this man. His man dress up. So actually, on the basis of this logic. So this is the Moses. And this is made first serpent after
So what is your conclusion?
I have finished.
You have finished.
Well, this is he ventured into the entire writing process. I mean, starting from the pictographic representations of the hieroglyphs to even the thought process through which you express thoughts and ideas in hieroglyphic writing system. I had just a few very small questions. For example, since it's basically pictographic hieroglyphs, there are words or expressions which are, we say, content words. For example, we have direct references in the real world, like, for example, this desk.
Yes.
The word desk is a content word.
Yeah.
But if you say under the desk or on the desk, this on, under, these are empty words. Right? What are the representations in hieroglyphic writing system?
Under the desk.
For the the empty and grammatical.
So function
like
words,
function
actually.
words, like
Function.
prepositions to take exactly.
Whenever they want to represent under the desk, they will write it. I don't think so.
What is under? I mean, what is the
How is under represented in
Represented.
hieroglyphics?
under or over, on, in, from, to, all these expressions? Have you investigated that?
You mean the preposition?
Prepositions.
Yeah, there are prepositions.
Or any other inflections, like how is that?
Inflection, or say in English, for example, we have 3 major tenses, but
Yes.
including the subtense, we have 12 subtenses.
Yes.
Right. How many tenses are in writing? Right. Could be expressed in hieroglyphs.
Actually, truly speaking, they actually don't follow the actually tense. Actually, they use the sort of sign.
For example, let me give you one example. He has been swimming for some time.
Signing. The sign is like that. There's a word will be like na sound, and there's a sign almost like that. A man is swimming. This is like that.
Well,
How
whether
is the
it is-
time frame expressed?
Time frame
Has been swimming.
Whether it is has been swimming or is swimming.
I know it's
or-
not. We can compare with the English structure. Has been they actually swimming for the. If there is a determinate sign for the na sound, and they will express a sort of the man. This is like that. It's a determinate sign. I want to saw in the various hieroglyph text which are the hieroglyph signs which are the collected by the Alan Garden and Wilsbot. If they are
Let
swimming,
me ask you: Is there anything like, for example, indicating past time and present time? Is the time indicated by the sun or what? And then the sun is before or after? Is there anything like that?
before or after, they actually indication. If it's the before, it's like sun. Somewhere they will write a sort of horizon. Like there's after. Like if you do anything after, then they will write a sort of horizon turn sign after the sun. And before, then they will write the sign the before my faces. Something like I'm doing something or I'll do something. Like I'll go
This
there.
is that before and after.
After
Do you have any
my
example like
front
that?
and back. It will use front and back.
Do you have any examples like that to show
I
this
mean, to
kind
show
of?
that whether what you're saying is right.
Yes.
Do you have any examples in your thesis to show?
No, it's a short. It's already in my thesis paper.
No, exactly. Well, I don't remember all the things that I've read because the examples that you've shown. But let me see. I'll look into it and see if your book contains any of those. So if not, I mean, maybe there could be your further research on that. How are the function words represented in hieroglyphics? Okay.
Because there are so many things in it.
There's so many
You
things you
cannot
can do.
focus on everything in one master's.
Actually, I'm not a Egyptologist. I'm just working on it.
Right.
No, that's okay, but that's an interesting thing that how is this time before and after or continuous
Or
swimming
how are
or
they
he
making the time
swims.
specific? Yes.
He swims.
They use the
just
determinate
the
sign
fact
and
he
the
swims.
before and after something they use the if it's the before then it will
These
use
are
the
some of the
before of my
areas that are
face.
still.
After it will be back of my
Or even the use of the
So you
prepositions.
show
as
the
you said.
comparison between how the modern linguistic pattern and the Egyptian hieroglyphic. That was, I think, a good work. You showed a lot of different, a couple of good comparisons.
I mean, this shows a new direction.
Yeah, it's a good, interesting way. But what I'm saying is that you can further study in the inflections and everything, and the prepositions, time frames, and other function words, and see does that also coincide with the modern linguistic system. And when you are calling modern linguistic system, are you referring only to English language or Bangla language? Okay, different language has variations among them. So, how does it relate to the hieroglyphics, Egyptian hieroglyphics? Okay? That's an interesting.
Maybe you'll be
area.
writing an article on this.
Yeah.
Reading that.
Yeah. Maybe.
What
But
made
he has written.
What made you interested in this area? In Egyptian hieroglyphics?
Actually,
It's fascinating. There is no doubt.
Yeah, it's
Actually, I'm
fascinating.
Egyptian history is
Yes.
But he's written a lot of
I'm just wondering, have you ever
articles.
lived there? I mean, how did you get interested in this particular?
Actually, I have writing my theory on my predominant poem. And
Yes.
side by side, I studied various Egyptian cultures. Whenever I found lots of things very interesting, that time I get interested in what is it? Let's see. Sometimes I find this very interesting science, and sometimes
It's interesting, no doubt. It's interesting. Anything to do with Egypt is interesting because they
Yeah,
have
I'm
such
studying Egypt for
rich
4 years.
ancient culture.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. আপনার 1 minute কাজ আছে. Okay, Ridwan, if you just we'll get back to you later. We'll get back to you later. ঠিক আছে.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Take